So I think PENMAN is a good place to start in terms of managing car wrecks for anyone in whatever.
So what is PENMAN anyway?
I mentioned this in terms of EMT stuff, and like cops have probably never heard of it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this will blow their mind a little bit. Maybe it's something they can use when they teach new guys. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, you got to make it like a 10 code, right? Yeah. 10 PENMAN.
Yeah.
That way they'll understand.
That'll definitely help. So PENMAN, what does it stand for? So I'll go through these. PENMAN, PENMAN, right? The first one is P, and that stands for personal or personnel safety. Obviously, your own safety is important if you're a responder to this sort of thing. But also, if you're dealing with a big scene, you've also got other people there working the scene that matter. So that's the P. Straightforward. E is environmental hazards. We talked about some of those already. We said down power lines. If you're on the train tracks and there's potentially a train coming, that could be an environmental problem. So environmental hazards is the E. N in PENMAN is the number of patients. So this is largely like just managing your own attention, right? How many people do I have to deal with? How much can I focus in on one thing versus like, do I need to step back and really triage and manage this? M is mechanism of injury. And if you're in a medical context, you would say nature of the illness. But in a trauma case, like a traffic collision, the mechanism of injury is how did the injuries occur? There's a whole field of this. If you were to look into PHTLS, there's a whole field or chapter section called kinematics, and it's all about energy transfer. The A is for additional resources. That can be if you're the first people on scene and you're off duty, that can be calling 911 to begin with. It can also be if you have down power lines, calling the power company. If you're on train tracks, calling the train people. All of those things take time to get involved, so call for them early is the idea, right? And then the N, the last N, is the need for extrication, which is kind of related to the additional resource. But for some people, like you might be able to do the extrication yourself. It just changes the dynamic and the workload a little bit. Like you might not be focused on patient assessment if you have to get access to the person.